And the key features of Druid that make this possible is that Druid is column-oriented. So pretty much any kind of analytics database these days is column-oriented. It just means that you can have many columns, but Druid will only read the columns that are involved in the query to answer it. So if you make a query like, give me the top, let's say, countries by revenue, it will only take the country and revenue columns, and you might have hundreds of other columns, and it won't even consider them. High concurrency is the idea that Druid can support very high workloads from multiple users and from applications that are making multiple queries kind of all at the same time under one roof. Druid is very scalable, so scalable to hundreds of servers, millions of messages per second. There are Druid clusters out there with over 1,000 servers, and Druid is very horizontally scalable. You'll see later why that is, like from the architecture. But essentially, if you have a cluster and it's working well for you, and then you decide you want to put twice as much of a workload on it, but maintain exactly the same performance, you can just have a cluster that's twice as big, and that would handle that doubled workload. Druid indexes all dimensions by default. So you stream data in, and Druid will automatically build indexes on all the dimensions. So any kind of dimension that you have, you can filter on it, and you can expand on it. So anything that you put into Druid instantly becomes analyzable and groupable. Druid supports a pretty standard SQL interface that is exposed in our UIs, and you can basically query Druid with SQL. You can use a JDBC connector that ships with Druid if you have an application that is powered by JDBC that can accept a JDBC input. And then real-time sub-second queries. So the main thing in Druid is optimized for queries that happen in less than a second. A lot of architectural decisions in Druid are really made to power this idea. So this means that everything kind of has to be hot and live. We can't query anything that is slow as part of the query path. If you issue a query to Druid and the cluster is properly tuned, then within a second, the query will return to you. And lastly, Druid can blend real-time and historical data in one place. So you can store years of historical data in Druid. You can tier it and have maybe data that's older stored on like cheaper hardware, and data that's less old, like maybe data from a month ago stored on premium hardware. And then real-time data that's currently streaming in will be stored in its own place, and the whole thing will be queryable in a single query. You just say what time range you want, including all of it, and Druid will perform that query.